Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Hogarth's Global Astrology. Know your planets, know yourself, or know your nation, know yourself. The two are interchangeable. We are back, of course, for another installment of HoGaLe. Yes, it's going to be a very interesting show tonight. And you will notice here, of course, if I do this, yes, I pointed the correct way this time. We have Lady G here wearing a rather fetching t-shirt, I must say.
Trust the universe.
Yeah, it's really nice. It really suits you. And we do have Lena down under. You'll see she's kind of sort of like scuffling about, folks. She says she's got the house full of people, and she's just trying to deal. She's doing a bit of herding. Doing a bit of herding.
Herding Polynesians is not easy because they move around in groups of 5 and 8 and stuff. So I've allocated them the other rooms.
Oh my goodness. I mean, never a dull moment on this show, is it?
Never
a dull moment on this show. There's always something going on with us lots. So before we begin, please don't forget, of course, to like and subscribe and to share if you'd like to support HoGaLe and the channel. If you would like to also subscribe to the ladies' channels, then they are in the video description below. In the video description as well, I've also got lots of other bits and bobs that are in there. I've just remembered I forgot to add one of my Navalny videos. We'll be talking about him, of course. Interesting show, folks. Interesting show. Quite eclectic.
Fancy that.
Yeah, it's not as, we're not traveling the huge distances quite as much as we did last week. But of course, as we know, a week is a long time in politics. And one of the things that we are going to have to talk about, of course, is Navalny. He's not the first question, but obviously we're going to give that some, full billing. The chat is running wild. And if we can as well, we've already actually got some questions in. It was quite funny, ladies, because I said to everyone, just email me the questions and what have you. And then people just left the questions in the usual way anyway. And I think such is life. So are we ready for question number 1?
Oh, yes.
All right. In fact, I need to grab my cards. What have I done with my
cards?
I mean, they're here.
I'm in Sydney this week, and it's so hot. It's 39 degrees now, which I forget in Fahrenheit, the old money, but it'd be 90 plus.
Yeah,
so
90 plus. Almost 100. That's pretty much 139. Yeah. Wow. So you got some hot summer. All right. So the first question that's come in. This is an interesting one. It's a royal one. As you know, we tend to, we've had, shall we say, interesting navigations when it's come to. But this one, I just thought, look, we all know everyone's been talking, everyone's been speculating, and especially on all of the YouTubes and stuff like that, because it is interesting. So what I would say is with the royal question, obviously some people may not be interested at all. However, these are archetypal. And these dynamics have lessons for all of us in many ways, particularly as well when I think of that Pluto in Capricorn, which talks about the disintegration of established norms, hierarchies, and power systems. So, of course, the royal family is a big example of that. So this has come in from Kayo, and they've asked, is Princess Kate going to divorce Prince William? I think it's actually the other way around, to be honest. And saying, is William the problem? One tabloid said she was moving in with her family and her mum and dad. So yes, it is a tabloid story, but I think it's a bit more elevated than that, because there is a tremendous amount of mystery, particularly around her operation and stuff. And of course, for Britain, it will have huge constitutional consequences. So for us, it's very significant. So let's ask, are they going to separate? Does she want to go? I really feel like it's actually William, to be honest, but let's just see. And then we get on the next questions.
Okay, will they separate?
energy.
It'd be complicated because how many kids have they got? 3 or something?
Three. And what I would suggest is, if this is in his mind, if William wants to leave, which I suspect he does, he has to do it before she's queen, because look what happened the last time. Look what happened the last time a king tried to divorce a queen. Do you know what I mean? It was, you know what I mean? Doesn't really work out that well. So I suspect there's a bit of that.
I'm having to do my cards on the side here because I'm in a weird position here.
What, are you balancing on top of a box or something?
I'm balancing on my lap because I'm actually in the sports bar of the house, which is going to be taken over en masse when we hang up. And so here we go.
Oh, wait. So, Lena, you casually mentioned you have a sports bar in your house.
Well, not my house. Not my house. But yes, there is a sports bar.
Mm. Who's ready to go?
I am. Interesting cards, because you've no idea how little I care. So it's a cold read for me. Here we go. But I suspect it is on the cards, so to speak, with this Chariot here. Then comes the King of Pentacles, who I think is, what's his name? Charles.
William.
King Charles.
Oh, Charles. Okay, Charles.
I think this is Charles because we've got another one coming up. Okay, so then we have the Out in the Cold card. I think Charles is trying to put a lid on this box and saying, look, I know I behaved badly and I wouldn't give up my mistress and I know all of that. However, you can't do it. It's like that.
Yeah.
Okay. The Emperor, who I think is young William here in the making, Emperor in the making, I think he's very hard to deal with behind closed doors. Why? The stone throne. And the Emperor often represents bossy male energy, right? A difficult partner, an unpleasable boss, or, in fact, your princely husband. I think this is Kate with some surprise news for the family, one way and another. Think of it. No. Okay.
Interesting. Is that your reading? Yes.
I'm done.
All right, Lady G. What do you have? I mean, half of it's the same as Lena's anyway, but let's just...
Yeah. The overarching thing is, trying to come to balance with what's being handed out. Underneath of it all, we have, feeling stressed, unhappy with the harvest when it comes to the monarchy and what's coming out. It's about facing loss and the choices that he's made and possibly coming up, to be king. Exactly. Yeah.
Wow.
And above it all, we have moving forward with what's being offered. And I think that there is some agreement that's going to come down with it. What's happening now is wanting to end things, come to an end because there's just too much stress with it. That's the challenges, all the stress going into it. It's the timing. The wheel is turning and they're coming out with whatever it is that they are saying, the witness and the drama behind the scenes. So it looks like, yes, that, that breakup looks to be, in the works. Do you know what type of operation she had? Does anybody know?
Sorry?
No.
Sorry?
What actual operation Kate had?
Well, that has been kept under wraps. All they said is that it's been an abdominal operation. That's all that they said. But I mean, if you think the abdomen, particularly for a female, could cover, quite a wide range.
Exactly.
That could deal with the womb. That could deal with the ovaries. That could deal with,
I'm wondering if it's affecting her ability to procreate.
Well, it's interesting you should say that, because one of the cards that I've got in the middle could suggest something like that. I just want to say as well, thank you to everyone who is joining us live right now. The chat is going like an absolute storm. I'm just going to try and read off a few quick ones and say a few hellos as well, and then I'll do my reading. So we've got someone here, Larry. Putin's coming up, but Larry says Putin is doomed. Is Wagner Group going to avenge Prigozhin's death, say on the anniversary ride to Moscow? We'll have to see. Someone's asking, is Kate pregnant again? I don't think so. I think if she was pregnant, she was and no longer is. That's what I would say, really. But also as well, I wonder if Kate might have Crohn's disease. That's coming from Rosalind Lander. So I'm going to add my sixpence worth, and I had to pull some clarifiers at the end because my outcome card needed something. And over 1,000 of you are with us already, so thank you everyone for joining us. We really do appreciate your support. Right, here we go. So we're asking, you know, is it divorce, etc. Now my first card here is quite interesting. Look at this, which is the star. Now, as you know, I've got these slightly different interpretations for the star. And in general, the star, of course, is seen as a very positive card. And when we're reading ordinary human beings, it has its connotation, doesn't it? Rejuvenation, etc., all this kind of stuff. But the star is very associated with healing and fresh starts. Fresh starts. But remember the shadow of this card as well, I often refer to as narcissism. So for me in this question, there's a little bit of narcissism going on somewhere with someone. Yeah. However, so let's look at that. Let's see how this energy of this evolves. Here in the obstacle position, we got stinky fish. Yeah. As you know, I call this the 8 of Cups, but I call it stinky fish. So there is an unpleasant message here, or an inconvenient message that is probably soon to come out, and I have a feeling it may be some kind of proclamation on the marriage itself. Yeah, particularly in regards to the middle card, which here is the Empress. Now, of course, we're not talking about Russia in this instance. This has to be Kate. Yeah, has to be Kate and her future as queen. Yeah, because really and truly, like, this is, even though it's the Empress, really it's talking about her future as queen, because she would be that much of an elevated status as opposed to the princess that she is now. So it tells me that there might be a sense of new starts, but potentially an unpleasant message in regards to Kate as queen. But look here, we have the Ace of Pentacles that shows up. Now, of course, the Ace of Pentacles is normally a very positive card, but we associate it, of course, as well with money. But let's not forget, there's an archway here with the Ace of Pentacles where a person can also leave. Could this be a potential kind of payment? Now, why do I say that? Look at the outcome card, the Devil. So here, this is, as we know, look, we are not being told the full machinations of what is going on. We understand that this is a challenging card of codependency, addiction. Let's not forget addiction here. So where there is an energy of addiction flowing around, and of course in the chat, some people are saying he's not an alcoholic, he's not this, that, the other. We're just reading the cards. So I was like, we have to pull clarifiers on that. So the clarifier cards, if we look here, we've got the 3 of Wands, which again is I call it one of the prospecting cards, just like the 2 of Wands, waiting for a ship to come in. But look, the person here is looking out to the sea, prospecting, looking for new options. Could this be William? Yeah. There is some kind of legal matter in the middle. We have a Queen of Swords here as well, which of course deals with the intellect, the mind, legalities, but rational judgments as well. And then the outcome is about juggling something. But this can also be a card of manipulation and trying to remedy things. So I don't think all is well, because it can't be with these 2 cards in. So I think they're trying to reach some kind of agreement. And if Kate is not going to be queen, then she's going to have to be compensated in some kind of way. This is how I'm reading it, because the devil card is here. So the marriage is very challenged at the very least, I think is a fair thing to say.
Right. Now, many people in the chat think they're going to stay together.
Oh.
Yeah.
And that's fine. So we'll just see. Time will tell.
See. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Yes.
I just read it.
May I remind people we're only reading the cards. We do not know any of these people intimately.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly.
And thanks for the donations, guys. That's
Thank
awesome.
you. Yeah, I was just going to click up on there as well. So we've got Alma Kessling. Thank you so much for your donation, and Miriam. Thank you so much for your donation. And yeah, just to echo what Lady G said, you guys know the routine by now. We don't come in with any ideas and agendas. There ain't no big plan. When we're backstage, we're literally backstage for a minute and I'm like, ladies, are you ready? Click, bang.
That's how
and we just read the cards. We just read the cards. And very often they are accurate. So, let's just see. All right, ladies.
Yeah.
Are we ready for question number 2?
Yes.
All right. So let's have a look. See here. Oh, gosh. Look, we have to come back to this.
Yeah.
Even though it may seem like a frivolous and frothy question, every once in a while, you need to have a little bit of cappuccino in there.
Yes.
So if you remember last week, we had a little tinkering with what's going on with Michelle Obama. Would she ever run? Yeah. And we said we'll save it for next week. So next week has arrived.
Yeah.
So here we are. Simple question. So here, what have I written here? Michelle Obama, presidential bid rumors, anything to it? Question, is she being asked to run behind the scenes? Let's just see what the energy is, and then we can just put it to bed once and for all.
Yes.
Because she has categorically said many times she doesn't want it, but let's see. It'd be nice just to get some of her energy as well, see what's going on with Michelle.
Yeah.
And while you're shuffling, thank you, folks. Thank you, Tobias, so much for your donation. Thank you, Carolyn, as well. Thank you so much for your donation. Michelle. I mean, it would be an absolute political earthquake of gigantic proportions, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would vote for her just to see her wipe the floor with Trump. I mean, it's just like it would be extraordinary, wouldn't it? That dynamic. Let's see what the cards have to say. Is she being asked to run? What's the energy around Michelle?
Well, yeah.
If we get major yes cards, maybe. If we get rubbish cards, then it's just probably just speculation.
And we're not talking here in an urgent sense, maybe, or maybe we are. I'm not sure. We're in the election year. So I can go if you like, Hog.
Go for it, yeah.
Okay.
Cards.
I think certain people are worried about Biden and they feel the party is taking a risk, but like I just said, it's election year. If they were going to do something, they should have done it a year ago.
Oh,
yeah.
Milk.
Yeah, it won't. Now, regarding Michelle, I think people have definitely asked her, and the wheel is turning. She's very impressive in her own right. Here's the Knight of Wands.
Oh my God! Oh, what have I done? What have I done? What's happened?
No,
sorry.
It's not fatal. It's not fatal. Okay. She is an exceptionally strong woman here, but I think she's batting back these things because she has said no, she's not interested, but everyone says no, they're not, even when they are. But I believe her when she says she's not interested. So here, this is the steady knight. We just had the Knight of Wands. Now this is the Knight of Pentacles. She's just coming back into her own, normalizing the family, rebuilding her career. She's doing her thing, and she's enjoying that. She knows exactly what's involved with taking this on in any capacity, and I don't think she's willing to give that up. Yeah, that's
okay.
me.
Lady G, you've got 1/3 of the cards of Lena anyway. But
exactly. Do I even need to say
We all
anything?
bring different angles to the cards.
It's the same reading. You know, going in an overview of it it's a pain in the ass to take that on in a battle. Okay, so that's the overview. In the center of it, the takeaway, you know, the takeaway with this is the foundation that it was juggled but she is, you know, into new things and, you know, happy with her life, secure in what she's doing. Above it, we have, you know, this holding on to power. But I think this is, you know, her husband, and that they are having a victory with what they are doing, new things coming into their lives. She doesn't want to complicate it with this. You know, she sees this going into it as a pain. She already knows what it takes to be ruler, to be in that position. And, you know, going into it, the message of the action is, you know, her world is that she is just saying, you know, absolutely no, I don't want to do it. And that's what she means. I wouldn't want to take it in. I'm happy with my life now. And we're settled. And no, we already did our thing. Okay.
So, yeah. Really good point. And someone's added in the comments as well, saying, Karen Lucas says, Michelle Obama paid her dues already with 8 years in the White House. She deserves to enjoy her life now. Very good point. Someone else on the Kate thing saying, Darren is saying, I don't think being a member of the royal family is all it's cracked up to be. Looks like a very stressful way to live, highly structured life. It's even more than structured. They actually choose what you wear and this, that, and the other. Your whole life
and what you'll say.
Your whole life is completely regimented. It's a gilded cage, folks. Don't get too intoxicated with the fairy tale. It is truly a gilded cage. You know, not that people are going to be crying out in pity for them, but you know what I mean? It's not all it's cracked up to be, basically. All right, Michelle, about it. Well, I've actually managed to pull different cards from you ladies.
Oh, good on you, doll.
Now, it's interesting. 4 of Wands shows up, which we know when we're talking politics is always what? The White House. So look, here it's almost like, here's Michelle. She's like, oh my God, I know this place inside and out. I know where all the plant pots are. I know what paintings and etc. statues I put up, what have you, and stuff like that, because she was, by any account, irrespective of what her critics or distractors may have to say, she was an excellent first lady and will go down in history as one of the best. You know, she just stepped up into the role and was very inspirational. But she knows the White House like the back of her hand. So it's like, been there, done that. Here in the obstacle position, we got the King of Wands. Now, this isn't Duck L'Orange on this occasion, I don't think. I think this is actually Obama's past presidency. She knows what it's like to live with the king, like 8 years or whatever. It's turning up in the obstacle position. Not that he's an obstacle in her life, but the presidency was very challenging and she got an awful lot of flack. However, Michelle herself may have 1 or 2 secrets up her sleeve. Yeah, go, Michelle. We've got the Queen of Cups here. And as we know, the Queen of Cups, deeply empathic, creative woman, which of course would perfectly fit with Michelle. But there are little secrets in there. So what I'm going to say is this. Is she going to run for president? No, I agree with you, ladies. It's highly unlikely. And it would be extremely controversial. I mean, it would be a sensation. However, could she come into the government maybe as a special advisor from time to time? Could she be maybe a running mate and she can bring her star, light, and gravitas? Maybe, because the next card we see here is the Hierophant, which we also understand is is government protocol, etc., stuff like that. So what this says to me is that there are senior figures in the government who really feel that Michelle could contribute some of her star power to the campaign. It wouldn't surprise me if she's going to be not fully politically involved, but maybe some endorsements. Do you know what I mean? Showing up here and there because she has such star power, and she's not tainted by the machine. I mean, she did extremely well in her 8 years not to be. And if we look here, Stinky Fish is back again. So there could be a surprising message. So I'm thinking, is she going to run for president? No, I think that would be too controversial, although it would be absolutely sensational. And she is still a young woman. Let's not forget this. She's in her prime. Maybe, 5-6 years, maybe in the next cycle, you never know, she could be convinced. But there could be messages here. So I think there'll be political messages. Running for president, I'll be surprised. But I do think he is being spoken to by significant people in the government. I can't see how they wouldn't be talking to her. Okay. Anything to add to that, ladies?
No.
All right. So that's Michelle Obama dealt with, and we've done Kate. All right. Question number 3. Normally we leave the Yeti to the end, but the questions are so interesting. He's got middle billing this evening. It's middle billing. So the question is now we need to talk about.
Just a second.
Sure.
Rosalind says in the comments, her laptop gives her an error message when she tries to put a sticker donation. Is there another place she can donate?
Oh.
Maybe use a different browser. Maybe use Chrome.
Try a different browser. Maybe try on your phone or try on a laptop. It tends to.
Laptop.
All right, so maybe try on your phone, see how it goes. I can't think of anything right now off the top of my head. It's because that's all dealt with by YouTube.
Yeah.
So we don't take it directly. It goes to YouTube and then it will come to me and then I share the donations with the ladies. So it's quite a protracted process. Okay, so Duck L'Orange. Yeah, Duck L'Orange. Now,
it's funny already.
I mean, I think we read on this already. But anyway, Donald Trump, as everyone probably knows by now, has been hit with a $355 million fine. And I just did a little bit of simple math, got my calculator out, these numbers are too big for the abacus. So I was like, okay, 355 million on top of E. Jean Carroll's 5 million initially, and then her later 83 million. Yeah. So just for E. Jean Carroll is 88 million.
And don't forget the 9% that he's got to pay on top of that. He's got penalties as well, 9% penalties on top of that 350 something. And so it comes out to 400 something. Yeah.
Well, I mean, wow. I didn't even know that. So E. Jean Carroll is 88 million minus the interest that she's due. So that means 9% can be flung on that. I mean, this is like a terrible game of Monopoly. When you're right at the end and you're trying to avoid paying rent on Park Lane, and it's like Donald Trump has landed on the one with the hotels and everything. And there's no get out jail free card with this one. So if we combine that with the 355 million, I make that to be $443 million he now owes before interest, which is the best part, of course, of $250 million. And as you guys will know, I've been saying for ages, I said from October last year, I said when he goes into Jupiter K2, I said his losses will mount and it would just be like bang, 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 particularly financially. Don't count him out yet, though. Don't sleep, he's too wily. He's too wily. But anyway, so the question is, will the fines render Trump's campaign unviable?
Well, not to mention trying to flog off the gold sneakers.
What?
You have to put up with that. He's trying to sell gold Trump sneakers. How tacky is this guy?
He must have got that tip off Kanye West, don't you reckon? He's probably got that off Kanye. That's the kind of thing Kanye would suggest. Oh my God. Oh, look at the card that fell out. Oh dear. I mean, look at that. I mean, this is a reading in of itself. 10 of swords. Was it? Where is it? 10 of. I'll keep that. Actually, I'll just pull another 2. Yeah. There we are. Gosh. Dr.Lena.
Oh dear.
K2 as a planet. Wow. If you're doing stuff wrong in your life, he can really chew you up.
Will it affect the GOP?
Oh, interesting. My goodness. Wow. Who's ready to go?
I can if you like. Okay.
Go for it.
This is like a textbook read on this question, right? So here's Dr.Lena always being able to manifest the Ace of Pentacles, always being able to get to the next bank to pay off the loan from the one before, all that rorting. Don't forget, often represents false gold.
Yeah, fool's gold.
So now the court has stepped in with the Hierophant and the Judgment card, literally putting him out in the cold. He'll have to sell more than a Scottish golf course, like all of this going up. The problem is for him, who was the King of Wands, he's now the Page of Swords. So it's like part of his mental health profile is he's like regressing or something. It's a king followed by a page. It's like he's going backwards. And this is the hostile page in that sense. When it's positive, it's like Greta Thunberg or someone, a young person raising their sword. When it's not, when it's a 70-something who's fallen off the throne, it's like him bleating in the wilderness. So it is a problem for the GOP because he's their chosen candidate. They'll go through the rest. So his problems are their problems.
Yeah.
And they've got to deal with this outspoken, juvenile creature.
Wow. Fascinating. Lady G, what do you have?
Well, the overview of the whole thing, when it comes to his world, things are being blocked. He doesn't want to take in anything and he doesn't want to listen. And you know how it is. So this is coming down rapidly now. The foundation, when it comes to sharing and getting the money, people are in a mind spin about it. And they look at how he's putting out this crap on his live central page. What he's putting out. So above it, we have the stressor feeling abused, and that's what he offers up. And of course, now they don't like the harvest. What he's trying to build going into it, they see it as an abuse of power because it's just money, 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 money that they're hemorrhaging now because of him. And in the past, he was able to go forward, but now, these are his life choices are coming back to haunt him. So yeah, his whole thing is becoming less and less viable every day.
Yeah, very, very challenging, very challenging. So as you saw, I did my shuffle, and look what fell out. The first three cards are pretty much did it with the run reading. I mean, look, just dreadful. This, I mean, he really is. I mean, like if you look at this, if we just take it simply as is, I mean, this could be career-ending type fines. We know that he gets in the little donations from the mum and pops and stuff like that, but he will literally need millions of people giving him at least $100 each to even come out of this with being able to afford toilet paper. Now, look, we know he's got money squirreled away in other places, but it shows the completing of a cycle. This is devastating. I mean, imagine receiving that kind of fine personally, to be that much. It's just extraordinary. We can see in the obstacle position for him. Look, justice, quite literally, is like the sword of justice coming down. Because irrespective of how things will go for criminal trials for Trump, we all know in terms of his psyche, his ego, the money matters to him the most.
Yeah.
It really does. You hit him in the pocket, take away his money, and he, as a person, he really doesn't feel like, he can face the world. If he's a criminal, blah, 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 then he earns, brownie points and he feels like he's one of the boys. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But if you're broke, not so exciting. So if we look here, we've got the Knight of Pentacles here, which we know is a slow moving card. Of course, we know Duck L'Orange, his gift is grift. But the sense I get is that the money is slowing down. If we take this literally, it's still there. He can still grift off it. Like, come help me. I mean, I find it ironic that this so-called billionaire is constantly having to go to people for money. Do you know what I mean? But it's like the coins, they're coming, but they're coming slower. This also suggests to me as well that the GOP and the RNC itself, their funds are potentially slowing down as well, because if they're supporting him, they can only sustain such losses as this for so long. I mean, we're getting close to $500 million here. That's before the lawyer fees and the 9% and whatever other stick is going to be thrown on the bonfire of, of Duck L'Orange. If we look here, we've got the celebration card who's turned up, but celebration for who? I think this is probably us, to be honest, in the public.
Love that interpretation. That's how I read it.
Yeah, I think this is us looking, we're kind of going, look, at last, he's kind of being hit, because sort of like where it hurts, because there needs to be at least a fig leaf of accountability for someone like Dr. L'Orange, who has played the system for decades, quite literally for decades. And then the outcome card, of course, is all about his partnerships, everything, all of his wheeling dealings. But this is also, I think, Dr. L'Orange trying to think of who he can desperately partner with. And maybe this is Kanye West and the golden boots and the shoes. So I think we could be in a scenario where Trump is rattling on. The nearer we get closer to the election, he's going to become more and more like a traveling salesman, I think. I think the closer he gets, the more the fines are, the more peril that he's in. He's going to be this rag bag, probably wearing branding and merchandise. Showing up on Sesame Street. Kind of like how with George Giuliani, do you remember he started dancing, not dancing, but providing one-on-ones and all this stuff. So I think it's going to become almost like this embarrassing merch wagon of grift to try and earn enough, literally earn enough to offset these huge fines. So anything to add to that, ladies?
Yeah, I think when he put Lara, I want Lara co-chairing the head of the ROC now, the head of the Republican Party. So you can funnel and grift all the money to me. She goes, we're going to use it in the best way that it needs to be used. Every penny of it we're going to use. So, the down Republicans running where the money's supposed to go to, they're not going to get any. So they are not going to be happy that he put, Lara in charge there to grift all the money from the Republican Party.
Lara, the inflatable's daughter-in-law, girlfriend.
So that would explain then, let me just find the card. That would explain this, the partnership.
Yes.
So who's this person? It's first I'm hearing this. Lara what?
She's
Lara
the girlfriend of
Eric's wife.
Wife, is she?
Yeah.
They're married. Okay.
Yeah, she's part of the Trump clan. Yeah.
Wow. Literally the card of marriage as well. Oh my goodness. You just can't make this stuff up. So more branding coming everyone's way, folks. At the moment, it's golden boots. Soon it will be spectacles, napkins, golf wear, T-shirt, whatever he can. The traveling salesman of politics. Oh, my God.
Oh, isn't it? In the comments, Therese says, in capitals, the GoFundMe page for Trump has been removed as it violated their terms.
How interesting.
So if that could be confirmed, that'd be good. Interesting. And that'd be because Lara put it up and didn't read the fine print.
Wow. Fascinating. Well, there we are. And at the moment, we've got, 1,550 of you with us live. Thank you so much. Really amazing. And a little one here from Michelle L. To continue with the Obama. Barack Obama had more death threats than any previous president. Michelle, Obama will never put her family through that again. Very valid point. Yeah. Very valid point.
And someone else reminded me, Michelle's 60 now. I think of her as the young thing. Is
really?
That she's got the it factor. She doesn't age,
Well, obviously, there's a portrait in the attic somewhere. I would. She barely looks like. She looks like she's in her early 40s, to be honest.
Yeah.
If that. Wow, my goodness.
Well, and black don't crack. She looks.
Well, exactly, as they say, and I guess for her especially so. My goodness. So more. Thank you, Catherine.
Thank you
so much for your donation. Thank you to BJ's Esoteric Musings, great name. And Julianne says, Michelle was the best, is much too smart to take on the role, plus her husband still running plus the husband still running the country. I love, what's it? All right, fair enough. Slightly controversial, perhaps. And, there we are. As you know, we welcome. Oh my God, there's more here. Sorry, I got to scroll down. Kathleen, could Michelle Obama be nominated to SCOTUS? She's an attorney. That's a good question. It's a good question. And what's this here? And thank you, Kathleen, for your donation. And
this is generous, guys. We appreciate it.
This is amazing. Mwah! Honestly, big love. All right. Are we ready for question number 4? And this is where the gravitas comes in.
I hope so.
All right, here we go. So everyone, we all know the wife of Navalny says she still doesn't quite believe it. She must be so traumatized and shocked and what have you. But it seems everyone now is coming out. And even I think even Biden has actually spoken on this as well, where we received the tragic news, of course, that Navalny is no more. And it's really sad. As you guys know, I've done a video on this. I need to put in the link it again. after the show, where I did predict this would happen about 2 years ago now. And I said he will, he'll be put into prison on trumped up charges, and eventually he'll be out in Siberia and left to die in a gulag. So terrible. I have a little theory, which is that I don't think Putin wanted him to die quite yet. I think he would have preferred Navalny pass after the elections. That's just my intuitive hit, because obviously, it's put a cat amongst the pigeons. And of course, several of you asked Navalny questions. So we had Sarah. Oh, one minute. Oh, no, 1 minute. So here we are. So Navalny. Who else asked about Navalny? 1 minute. We have Crystal Blue. So will the murder of Navalny finally be the impetus for the West to seize Russian assets, which are being held in Western banks, including Vladimir Putin's, and use them to supply Ukraine with more weapons? That's one. Manuela Orchid asks, do you all think Navalny's death was on Putin's order? Thanks for checking the cards. Love you. And then this is an interesting one. Sarah Hellis says, hi, Hoagie and ladies. Were the US House Republicans tipped off to leave Washington suddenly for a 2-week recess just before the announcement about Navalny? My goodness, that's an interesting one, isn't it? Broad in spectrum. Let's ask, so here I've got, what impact, if any, will Navalny's death have on Putin's objectives? I think that's a good question to ask, because, we know he is the puppeteer, and obviously this has galvanized more resistance against him. So let's see.
Navalny's death.
Navalny's death. Impact. Putinska. Let us know your thoughts in the comments, guys, of how you feel that this could play out. Very important question. And if you're pulling cards with us, many of you do, please let us know what you get in the comments as well. Who's ready to go?
No, I'm not.
Lady G, you ready, or do you need more time?
Well, I'll just try to go. I'll muddle through it. So what has been offered up to this date to the people is the manipulation of smoke and mirrors and all stuff that he's tried to put in there before. So the foundation is trying to figure a way forward and what he can construct for the long term. Now, what I got here too in the challenge and the outcome and everything is all about money and wealth and power. They're going to have a lot of problems with that, with keeping people. Okay. So he's in the center. We have him also, what he's putting out, from his narcissism and about the good life for people. What we have going into it now is people are in agreement when it comes to what they're holding on to, what they have. And in the past, he's always charged forward in keeping his control on people. But they're worried now about their financial well-being, etc. What's happening with the country. He's losing his ability to manipulate and control the people. So that's what I get from it.
Lena, how do you interpret your cards?
Well, the overarching card is the Hanged Man. Okay. So for those learning tarot, the conventional interpretations are things being suspended for now, also the new perspective with the halo. But I've added a third interpretation over the last few years, which is the willing sacrifice.
Oh, yes.
And here we have it for Navalny. He knew when he came back to Russia after being treated for the poisoning in Germany, he knew and was prepared to do that for his country.
Wow.
Whoosh. He was prepared to defend his country against not only the King of Pentacles, which is Putin, who we forget is an oligarch. So even though lots of his money has been locked up and frozen, lots hasn't. So, you know, he comes across as, you know, sort of not in that huge playboy, blatant, flagrant way, but he is, right?
He's a trillionaire.
Navalny also stood up for the systems who supported Putinchka. So he took them all on. He knows the judgment card. He knew it was coming. Look at these cards. They're just huge. And the wheel will eventually turn for Russia, not this minute, because the hanged man is not a rush. This isn't people rising up in the street over this, no. But the wheel has turned another notch towards Russia reinventing itself. But at the moment, it has to go through the loss and the pain of all sorts of things, not just Navalny.
Fascinating. My gosh, the cards, so fascinating. Thank you everyone as well for joining us. It's now 1,634 of you, my goodness. And what I want to do is I want to click on some comments because some people obviously had a bit more to say on the Michelle Obama thing. So here we are. So one with the universe said, like the Kate and Will's divorce question, this Michelle question is malicious gossip based on political lies. Yeah, I mean, there could well be, but sometimes, well, as you could see, we read the question in the spirit of actually putting the thing to bed. Yeah, because so many people are asking it. So again, we just read the cards, folks. Sometimes you have to have a little bit of cappuccino and froth. It can't all be, you know, super high stakes. We've got so much of that in the world as it is already. Every once in a while, one needs to read on these things. And then someone else said from M. Wilson, the question on Michelle running is a closed issue. Yeah, that's what we basically established, wasn't it? That it's done and dusted. But there could be a chance she'll be asked for advice or something. And then Cheryl says the Obamas paid their dues, period. Again, what was already ratified by the cards. Callista, darling, thank you so much for your donation. Right, okay, so my cards here. Well, I've pulled 5 cards, and obviously I've got 2 of the major arcana that the ladies have already got themselves. So we're basically doing each other's readings here. It's just incredible. So, of course, the Magician, which describes Putinchka all round, really, doesn't it? Particularly as well with that Tucker interview. Because look, what we need to remember is Putin is a master manipulator. Master manipulator. He's obviously got Tucker in there to kind of flatter him and give him, you know, the red carpet. I mean, he did treat everyone to half an hour of sort of like revisionist history. Right. I mean, I watched it all, 2 hours and 7 minutes of it all. It was an epic thing, but it was a kind of like a master web work of Putinchka. This is him trying to manipulate. And isn't it interesting? I have often described, I've not said it enough, for entertainment purposes only, Putin is a powerful magician. He really is. Tuned in psychically with him and his chart. You know, he knows a thing or two. So here he is here, manipulating, and of course his non-linear warfare, using his intelligence and using every tool he has in the box. But look in the obstacle position. Navalny quite literally died, and I really do feel at an inconvenient time for Putin.
Interesting you say that. Yeah.
It was always the intention that Navalny would die, but the idea was that Putinshka wanted him off in the gulag so we would forget about him. And then kind of like how the Queen did a noble death, you know, in Scotland to forever unify England and Scotland. Navalny's gone, you know what, I'm going to die now. Yeah? And because he has an incredible spirit, of course, and he will always be remembered, and he is effectively martyred. Look, he's got his place in immortality. He really has. But this death has come at a very inconvenient time for Putin because it's bad press. He just did the Tucker Carlson thing and used Tucker like we say in the UK, done like a kipper, looking like the master, preached to everyone, did his whole kind of holier than thou, and then Navalny has gone, and all of a sudden that image, of course, is shattered that the magician was trying so hard to construct. So he's battling. This also says as well, even though we don't see it, folks, I keep getting cards of internal struggle for Putin. He presents one way, but there's a lot more going on. And a lot of people want him out of the way. This, for some people, if they weren't awake already, is a sword of truth moment. So just in case those are still trying to kind of support Putin and like, they need to understand, look, he's very intelligent, but let's not forget what he is. Let's not forget what he is. This is the sword of truth to remind everyone who they're dealing with. And I think Navalny's death, look, I've got the Hanged Man as well. It has come at an inconvenient time for him. This was bad PR. Very bad PR. But it also shows as well the situation in Ukraine. Everything is kind of hit a bit of a stalemate. And I think that's what a big part of the Tucker thing was to try and get the gears moving, reshape himself in the eyes of the public, and in particular perceptions of the American public. And then Navalny went and died. And it's like, oh, God, here I am fighting off the bad man image again. Everyone sees the truth of my true nature. And, I'm back to square one. I'm now the James Bond villain yet again. Do you see what I mean? So it's put him in the mud, I think. Anything to add to that, ladies?
No, we've got an update on the Yeti's GoFundMe. So they've got it up and running again as of probably 5 minutes ago now. The goal is 355 million, and they've raised 153,000.
Now, isn't that funny? Isn't that funny? Because that's what we were seeing in the cards. I said he's going to become a traveling salesman because
totally.
When it's in the ballpark of 50 million, yes, then you might be able to grift that. But when you're looking at 500 million, we're talking eye-watering sums. This is like bigger. This is bigger than some GDP of some small island nations now. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. Yes. In all seriousness,
if you think about it, we're talking epic sums. It would put a hole in anyone's money, because even if someone is a multi-billionaire, they're not holding that all in cash, folks. This is cash.
Assets.
You know, he's going to have to really sell some crown jewels to come out of this with even his underwear, let alone after all the other fees. So there we are.
Please, we've got to all pray that he doesn't put his underwear on eBay. Please tell him it's a bridge too far.
Indeed. So we have one more question. Oh my God, the time has gone so quick. Here we are. Maybe we can do this as a one-card pull, actually. Let's see. So Angela's question, and Sarah Hellis and Crystal Blue were asking similar. Why are the Senate blocking Biden with support for Ukraine? And they're asking, how is the issue with Navalny affecting the US? But maybe let's just look at that. Why are the Senate, I don't know anything about this story.
No, I don't know either.
So why are the Senate blocking Biden with support for Ukraine? Let's do a one-card pull on that. and then we will end there.
And then maybe we should have the bard on Putinchka.
Yes, let's do that. I was thinking like, we need to put the bard in. Yes. So why are the Senate blocking Biden with support for Ukraine? And haven't another section just all gone on holiday for 2 weeks or something? It's very weird.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, one second. Are we ready?
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, what did I get? The Chariot.
Oh,
All
right. Lena, how do you interpret your card?
All right. I
Why
think
did- why
with
did
the Chariot moving forward, I think it will clear, but there's a hold up represented here by the stone wheels on the Chariot, which is probably it's a mixed package. So it's the other elements of the package that are causing problems. But then I think it'll go ahead.
Lady G?
Yeah. Well, I think they've got most of the elements here, but they don't like one of the things that's being, offered up with that. So they need to change something in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I've got the Hermit card, which can mean review, revise, reassess.
Yeah.
So they're
Research.
doing their research. They're getting stuck in. They have to get through some nitty gritty, and it's probably not going to go so quickly as people would like.
Yeah.
There we are. Quite straightforward, that, wasn't it? All right.
Yeah.
So whose turn is it to? I think it's Lady G,
Lady
no?
G. No,
So-
I think it's Lady G's.
Yeah, I think it is you, Lady G. So this is the Bard's take on Putinchka, which I don't think we've done before. So
I
let's see
know.
what,
I'm
I don't-
enthralled.
let's see what the Bard has to, for entertainment purposes only, has to say about Putinchka. So tell me where to stop, Lady G, and there we go.
Stop.
Oh, all right. Let's have a look. Oh, this is interesting. So this is from Henry VIII. And it says here, have your mouth filled up before you open it. Now, isn't that interesting? Have your mouth filled up before you open it. Because a lot of people were talking about with the interview,
Yeah.
he went on and on and on and on and on. He really did. It was 2
Yeah.
hours and 7
Yes.
minutes. Let's see what's on the next page. Oh, it says here, and this is from the Tempest, he's winding up the watch of his wit. By and by it will strike. Oh, the
I have to think
Tempest.
about that. Can you read it again, Hoagie, please?
This is, you see how the Bard changes depending on
Yeah, the
not
vibes
straight
really.
up insults here. So here we are. So this is from the Tempest in regard to what the Bard thinks of Putin. He's winding up the watch of his wit. By and by it will strike. Oh, that's quite.
He's running out of time on this.
Isn't that interesting? Because that is also like the magician card as well.
Yeah.
We're saying he's
Yeah.
using his wits at his disposal, every single thing. So it's like it's winding up in his mind. He's like, what's next? He's winding up the watch of his wit. By and by it will strike. So he's gonna have to do something significant to shift the situation. Interesting. That not straight out insults either. Oh, the Bard.
The Bard.
Well, folks, can you believe it? The time has gone. It has flown. I want to say a big thank you to everyone for joining us. Happy Sunday as well to everyone joining us on Sunday. If you've not booked yet for the Trover trip, there's just a couple of places left. So get stuck in before that goes. If you want to see me in Santa Fe, and of course Lady G as well will be joining us. Thank you everyone for all of your generous donations, much appreciated, and all of you joining us live and of course again on Sunday. I hope you enjoyed the show. Quite eclectic this evening, wasn't it, folks?
Yeah.
Very interesting. And the Bard was quite cryptic today.
Oh yeah, I had to think about that one.
So we, of course, will see you next week. So it's a big bye-bye from us for now. And we will
And
see
bye
you
from
soon.
Bondi Beach.
All right. Yeah. Yes, indeed. All right, bye for now. And there was like 6,666 or something of you, or more actually, joining us live. So thank you so much for that. All right, bye for now.
Ciao.